to the next round. What does it mean to go through? And how pleasing was it to see Tammy Abraham get that hat-trick?
Well, it's important to go through. Clearly, it's a competition we've had success with in the modern era, and expectations are that we go through in this time. But in practice, you know that's not as simple as it sounds. Luton are a good team, championship team, competitive team, good young coach. So we had to get our game right, and we did. We got it right in pretty much every sense, other than the two sloppy moments, one for their goal, one to give them a chance. But other than that, everything was nailed on. And Tammy gets 3 goals, which is great for him, great for us to keep his confidence up. But the overall performance was really good.
Yeah, I mean that third goal in particular, from one end of the pitch to the other, how special was that? Very much a team goal.
Yeah, it was a team goal, and Callum did very well in his input in it, in the assist for Tammy, and Billy also joining in to play the 1-2 with Callum. So no, very good. Lovely to see goals like that. There was a lot of play like that for us today. A lot of play which looked good through the lines, midfield joining in, wingers coming off the line. We had a lot of threats in our game, and I'm pleased, very positive in that sense. So players need to carry on with that kind of attitude and that kind of level of performance.
A couple of moments that you I guess weren't happy with. One in particular, Luton's goal, Kepa's mistake. But did that make things much harder for you? And what does that do for his perhaps already fragile confidence?
Well, on the flip side of that, Kepa makes a really top save in the second half to make sure it doesn't go to 2-2. So we can give that. It's not easy. It's very easy for people to sort of hone in on that. But I think when Kepa's not been playing so regularly, he comes in and he's trained well and he's a good goalkeeper. And I'll certainly give him that one in the third. I'm as annoyed as the fact that we let someone stand in our box in space and get a shot away when they really shouldn't have done that. And I think it was a general team moment of complacency at how comfortable we were at 2-0, which is not good enough. So we got back from that very quickly. We dominated the game. All that made it was slightly nervous that we didn't have the 2-goal lead that makes it very comfortable. Once we got that back again, which we should have got a lot earlier, then the game was comfortable.
So over the last few days, you've been very much a man in the spotlight. Did you need that result as well?
I always need these results. This is Chelsea, like you said at the start. Is can you get into the next round? How do you feel? It's like, yeah, people expect it. People also expect a lot in terms of our league position. My job is to see the inside, to know what goes on the inside, to know the work that we need to do, to look at the team today and see that we've got a lot of young players in the team that are coming through. Billy Gilmour comes in, thought was outstanding, by the way. And you look at the youth and Mason Mount as captain, another part of his progression. And there's a lot to it. So that, people will be very, will look very closely at the moment. I try and see a bigger picture. Yeah, of course, I wanted the result today because it just is a nice air of positivity around the club and for the players to get into the next round. We're now in 2 cup competitions, Champions League next round, the FA Cup, and we want to win more points in the league. That's where we're at.
Frank, you touched on Billy there and his performance, his partnership with Mason at the base of that midfield, and the formation the shape you played today. Are those things you'd look to reprise moving forward?
Well, possibly. I mean, I thought the two of them in midfield were great. Their movement of the ball, their discipline in the role. When you used to playing in a 3 and it's a 2, it clearly is different, and you have to have more discipline because you're trying to get a player higher up the pitch in the team. And it's something we can look at going forward. But it's a focus on probably the front 2, the 9 and the 10, making sure that they come in and give us something that we didn't have before, and making sure that you don't lose too much in midfield by taking a man out of midfield. And that was a nice step today because the lads did that. They moved the ball well. They had the discipline. So it's something we can certainly look at going forward. I'm forever considering the attributes of players within the team, within the system, and I think that's part of the process of this year, where sometimes you're looking when new players, younger players, can we find the right way? Today was right for us. If it's for sure the way forward, who knows? But it was great to see the options that it brought us.
James Robson.
Hi, Frank. Of course, we know all about the run Chelsea were on going into this game, but perhaps another way of looking at that is, I think now in the last 4 games, it's 3 wins. So does that actually point to the reality of the situation that you've turned the corner? Can I also ask if you a quick thought on Werner and missing the penalty?
Yeah, that's good. 3 wins in 4 games. I'm happy to quote that one because in the modern day, people will very much look at these kind of short-term stats it can be flipped in different directions. I think it's nice for us in the short term that we have done that. You're talking about 2 cup games there, a league game we win and one that we lose. And the scrutiny on a club like Chelsea, it's normal. And the good thing for us to do is not to get too caught up in how many games have we won recently or where are we at in the table. When you're off it slightly, which we have been, the focus can only be on changing the form. And I thought today the individual uplift in form and the collective uplift in form was a big positive. So I'm very happy with that side. With Timo, I'm disappointed for him. He gave a lot to the performance today. He was a threat behind. He was on the move. He'd link up with Tammy, link up with people around him. And it's just one of those things, when it's not going for you quite, it can happen. I miss penalties. I know the feeling. I know he'll feel despondent maybe now in the last few minutes of the game, but he shouldn't be. And it's my job and his teammates' job to lift him, because he'll be fine. He'll be fine. It was just it was almost, like a sign of what's going on for Timo at the minute, where it's not quite dropping for him. But, he'll be a time. There'll be a time when he takes penalties without thinking about it and hits the back of it without thinking about it. At the moment, that's not quite the time for Timo, but it will come, and hopefully very soon.
Hiya, Frank. Is Billy making it increasingly difficult for you not to give him a bit more of a run now? And also, can I just ask you, we've spoken in the past about whether Billy might go out on loan this month. That probably looks unlikely. Can you confirm that won't happen? Or
yeah, sorry, was the first part, did you say Billy in the first part as well?
Yeah, the first part was Billy and how difficult he's making it to not give him a bit of a run.
Well, playing like he did today, very difficult, because he was outstanding. His comfort on the ball, the way he moves it, his discipline, his personality in the team was great. So plays like he does today, it makes it very difficult for me not to give him a run. He trains that way. With his youth and the injury he's had and the difficult time we've had in the last sort of month or so, then I think it's been me trying to find the right time to get Billy in there. And today felt the right time. And he was brilliant in the game. So let's see going forward. And in the short term, and for me, looking at him there today, then he won't be going on loan. But of course, I'll keep that slightly open until the end of the month. But Billy's a Chelsea player, and the levels he showed today shows that he's very, very right to be a Chelsea player in the middle of the park.
Okay, last two, Sammy and then Jacob.
Hi, Frank. I thought the academy players were obviously excellent today. There's a lot of output from those guys. In a week where there's been a lot of pressure going into the game, did you feel that the kind of the intrinsic link that those guys have with the club, given that they've come through the ranks, has helped produce that performance today?
Well, I don't want people, because people are very in the moment, and I get it, because we're all a bit reactionary sometimes, but because we've had some difficult results, I think people will maybe want to sort of find an angle, look at the reasons and find a negative angle. And I think sometimes actually people maybe look at the young players and go, it must be because of the youth. I don't actually think it's always the case with us. I think some of the young players, Mason's a great case, have been outstanding this season and in this patch. But what I will say is, I think when you are, hopefully, when you look at the story since I've been at the club, and last year when we managed to get in the Champions League, a lot of great performances come from the young players and the energy and their qualities and what they're given to the club. So I wasn't nervous to play what I felt was a pretty young team today, a very young midfield. They bring energy, they bring a real desire, and it's important now that we just look at everybody in the squad, no matter youth, no matter elder, no matter if you're on the bench or you've been out of the team, and everybody fights in the same direction. It's absolutely the only way to be successful as a football club, but to be successful trying to get out of a difficult moment. So today was good. The players were good, the players on the bench were good. We just go again now, day by day.
Okay, last question, Jacob Steinberg.
Hi, Frank. I just wonder how you felt when you saw the banner in the shed end, whether you were able to kind of look to your left and see that new banner from the fans. Obviously, they're not here to show their support, but they're able to do it from a social distance. I mean, was there any emotion for you in that?
Well, no, I wouldn't say today, because I was probably maybe focused, because I knew about the banner a week or two ago, and quite directly from the people that have put it together, who are obviously huge supporters of this club, and I was very appreciative, and maybe, I don't know if emotional is the word, but people who know how I feel about this club will understand it's a two-way thing from when the first time I come here, maybe 20 years ago, nearly, whatever it was. So I'm very thankful for that support, and it's great to see it at the Bridge. I feel it very strongly, and I know the modern world has moved on, and social media and eyes has come from all parts of the world. One thing I do know when I'm at the Bridge is that I'm at a club that I love and that has always shown me huge support as a player and now as a manager. So I appreciate it very much. All I want to do is repay that with being successful at the club and working through a tough moment to try and bring a long-term success to the club. And keep saying it recently, there will be moments of pain and moments that are difficult because of the situation. And when you see that fans that are there to stick with you from now and going forward and forward, that's an important thing for me.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.
See you later.
Cheers. Thank you.